We'll get started, so you can we don't want to keep you around holding on too long. My name is Glenna Jamieson, English, and this is my sister Robin Jamieson, and we're daughters of Colin Jamieson, journalism at that point, and had his own newspaper that he did monthly called 50 Plus, and it was a seniors paper to try to bring the seniors give them a little more of the type of reading that they enjoyed. And he did that for a number of years. Actually, he was 80 when he retired, so and then he never really retired. Many of us Jamieson kids, of course, were involved in broadcasting and journalism and politics, and it all seems to go together. And it's always been a large part of all of our lives. And so it was a natural progression for us to offer this opportunity to others who also share the same passion that we do for broadcasting and journalism, and be able to give them the opportunity to help them get going. Josh Jamieson has spearheaded this project. And I'm not kidding. He had took the whole thing on. We backed him up, and it was a project that my dad originally wanted to do years ago. So I know that he would be very, very proud of this project and of Josh for taking this on, and making sure that we had a top-notch project that would be able to benefit a lot of people. So I'm going to pass this off now to Josh and let him give a little bit more information to you on the scholarship. And I want to thank you all again for coming out this morning. Thanks.
All right, good morning, everybody. I've got a little bit of a lengthy speech, so kind of bear with me. Hopefully I can get through it. Thank you, Glenna, for those kind words, and good morning, welcome. It's great to have you all here at Fred's Records to celebrate this morning's announcement. I'd like to acknowledge some special guests that we have here with us today. First, Ainsley Hawthorne. She's the Executive Director of the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador, who we'll hear from very shortly. The Deputy Mayor of St. John's, Sheila O'Leary, is here, along with a number of her colleagues from Council. And we have some MHAs here with us as well. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedules. For the last year or so, I've led the development of this project, working with a team of family members to bring it to life. And this morning, we are proud to announce that in partnership with the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador, we are establishing the Jamieson Family Memorial Scholarship. My great-uncle Colin and great-uncle Baz passed away in November 2013 and January 2014, respectively. And their passing marked the ending of a generation in our family. Don Jamieson died in 1986, and the three brothers were predeceased by two sisters and another brother. Our family felt strongly that it was time to establish a legacy fund to honor Don, Colin, and Baz's significant contributions to this province and the country's political and broadcast sectors. For this reason, the Jamieson Family Memorial Scholarship will ultimately disperse a $1,500 scholarship to any high school student enrolled in studies at an accredited Canadian post-secondary institution in the subject areas of political science, communications, or journalism. Both Colin and Baz were well known in the media industries. Colin was heavily involved at CJON TV and also worked in print media. Baz's booming voice was heard on radio airwaves from coast to coast throughout his long broadcasting career. Many here at home in Newfoundland and Labrador knew Baz as a cornerstone host of VOCM's call-in talk shows, and he was known to go the extra mile for callers, working long hours to help them in any way he could on his own time after the show. In 2012, I produced, directed, and wrote a documentary about my grandfather called Just Himself, The Story of Don Jamieson. My film covered my grandfather's personal life and career path, from establishing CJON Radio and CJON Television, now known as NTV, with Jeff Sterling, to his years as a cabinet minister of a number of portfolios, including external affairs as part of Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau's governments, to his time as the Canadian High Commissioner in the United Kingdom, where he was known to be a firm favorite of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II for his lively stories. Following the release of my documentary, I began to receive a number of inquiries about a certain holiday album that my grandfather had recorded in 1979. People were getting in touch wondering if Don Jamieson Remembers an Old-Fashioned St. John's Christmas was still available. Knowing about the family's interest in establishing the Legacy Fund, I spent Christmas Eve in 2016 wrapping gifts while enjoying my annual tradition of listening to my own vinyl copy as I roughly digitized it. Later that night, I scheduled an email to deliver the audio to immediate family members with the subject line, "A very special Christmas surprise for you." I thought it would be a touching and thoughtful way to share a project idea while giving them a special gift at a particularly meaningful time of year. In the same email, I suggested that we could re-release the album and have its proceeds support the Legacy Fund that had been discussed. So part of what we've done over the last year was the undertaking of professionally digitizing that album and repackaging it so that it could support our family scholarship initiative. I've also developed a relationship with Breakwater Books over the years as they supported my writing and published my first book in 2002. Breakwater Books also happened to be the publishing house for my grandfather's political memoirs, No Place for Fools and A World Unto Itself, that were released in 1991. I'm so pleased to say that they were quick to support our family's project when I approached Rebecca Rose about the scholarship initiative, and she immediately got the Breakwater team on task to re-release both volumes in paperback format. All three of these products are immediately available here at Fred's Records today, and the proceeds from all three will support the scholarship. We can also share that my grandfather's Christmas album is digitally available through partners like iTunes, Amazon MP3, Google Play, and Shazam. And the books and CD can be ordered individually or as a bundle through the scholarship's freshly launched website at Jamieson Family Memorial or JamiesonFamilyScholarship.ca. On a bit of a personal note, my grandfather passed away when I was 3, and I had heard a lot of stories about him growing up. When I was making my documentary, I was so fortunate to be able to have the input of his 2 brothers, just in time. And I learned a great deal more about him through that process. In one interview with my Aunt Heather, she spoke about my grandfather's fascination with the technological leap known as faxing. He got a real kick out of the connectivity that it brought, allowing him to stay productive while staying at home in Swift Current, spending time with his family, which was of great importance to him. As we stand here today, talking about digitizing his vinyl record and using the internet to launch a legacy campaign in the family name, focused on supporting education for a new generation, I can't help but think how proud he would be, not to mention astonished by the digital age. For me, establishing the Jamieson Family Memorial Scholarship is also a bit of an opportunity to pay it forward. Through my university years, as so many do, I relied on student loans to earn my education. But the cost of a semester or 2 was covered by a small amount of money that my grandmother left to me. I've always held the belief that people can reach great heights and realize their full potential if the right opportunities are afforded to them. I'm so grateful that my grandmother supported me in the way that she did, and I'm proud of our family for banding together to create this fund so that it can help others. We want to ensure the Jamieson Family Memorial Scholarship exists in perpetuity, and over the next few years, the campaign is on to raise a little more than $42,000 to ensure that's the case. The awarding of the annual scholarship will begin as soon as the base fund amount has been raised, even if prior to achieving the full goal. Eligibility and application requirements will be defined in early 2018 to provide ample time for submissions to be received once a call for applications has been issued. We will achieve the overall goal through the CD and book sales, but we are also accepting direct donations to the fund through the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador. Any contribution made to the scholarship in that way is fully tax deductible, and supporters can contribute online through the scholarship website and receive their tax receipt immediately. We will also be reaching out to seek partnerships with philanthropically minded businesses and organizations, and my mother, Debbie Jamieson Winters, will soon be launching an online shop through Etsy, where her handmade stationery, cards, and more will be available to support the fund. I'd now like to turn things over to Ainsley Hawthorne of the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador to tell you a little bit more about their organization.
Joshua, and thank you all for coming this morning. I'm delighted to be here to represent the Community Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador at this event. So what we do at the Community Foundation is that we help individuals, families, businesses, and charities to start long-term charitable endowment funds. So these are monies that are invested permanently, and then the interest on those funds is used to make grants to a variety of charitable causes across the province. So we grant in areas like arts, heritage, health and wellness, including mental health, the environment, and we also administer a number of scholarships. And scholarships like this are a wonderful way to recognize and support students across the province that are doing great work and going into important areas. The Community Foundation was founded by Dr. Peter Roberts, who was a physician who worked for most of his career in the Western Grenfell Health region, so on the Northern Peninsula and in Southern Labrador. And over the course of that experience, he was exposed to the need that exists in rural parts of this province. So when in the late 1990s he saw community foundations in other parts of the country, he felt that this could be an efficient way both to support people in the urban regions of the province and to get funding out into rural areas that have less access to it. So right to this day, we grant to a wide variety of causes right across the province, from the south all the way up into northern Labrador. So a scholarship like this one is not only a wonderful way to commemorate a family that's had a truly tremendous impact on this province's history, society, and culture, but it's also a way to reward and recognize students who are going into political science and journalism and who will be the next generation of our province's leaders in those areas. So we're very happy to be able to support the scholarship and provide the administrative end of it. Thank you all for coming out today, and I'm going to hand it back to Joshua.
Thanks, Ainsley. Awesome. Just a few quick thank you notes. Thanks, Ainsley. I won't keep everyone for too much longer, but I do want to share these important thanks. A huge thanks to Jim and Tony here at Fred's for hosting our event today and for being so enthusiastic and saying that they are honored to work with us. The honor is ours. Thanks again to Rebecca Rose and the Breakwater Books team for helping us to re-release my grandfather's memoirs in aid of the scholarship. I have to give a thanks to Josh Kane of Past, Present, Future Digital, who did a bang-up job giving us the best possible digital version of Don Jamieson Remembers. Thank you to my partner Owen Hickey for his ongoing support and for creating the CD's re-release artwork as well as all of our scholarships materials. And thanks, of course, to friends and colleagues in broadcasting and print media who have supported us, and to all of you for coming out today. In closing, I'll just say that our family can think of no better way to honor the commitment that Don, Colin, and Baz had for helping and empowering others, and then supporting and encouraging a new generation of young people in the pursuit of careers in politics and journalism. And I will leave the last words to my great uncle Baz, who always signed off when he was on air by saying, "Do something nice for someone today. You'll feel better for it. Bye-bye, and God bless."